all for coming, and thank you, Governor, for convening us. I want to take a moment to thank everyone who ran for office, those who were victorious, and those who didn't get the results that they worked for. There is nothing more difficult than running for office, and our democracy is better off because of your efforts. We also achieved an important step in our efforts to protect our right to choose in New York, and I want to thank Sasha Ajua for all of her efforts and Donna Lieberman of ACLU for all that they have done to get us to that point. Thank you to all of those who worked so hard to enshrine that right in our Constitution and protected generations to come. I also want to thank New Yorkers for showing up in record numbers to the polls to exercise your most basic and sacred democratic right. And lastly, I congratulate the President-elect Donald Trump. And if possible, we will work with his administration, but we will not compromise our values.
This woman is demonic and she needs to be fired. And the fact that she's still the district attorney in New York and the people in New York is not calling for this woman's resignation is insane to me. And now she want to sit there and say, if possible, we will work together. No, that's not even an olive branch, to be honest with y'all. And anybody that knows the spirit of this woman and followed Trump's trial and them trying to basically remove him from the ballot or discredit him is, in my opinion, a classic case of election interference. And so I don't expect anything out of New York. I'm going to be honest with you. I love New York. I love visiting it sometimes. But I absolutely think that New York is going down a drain. And from what I see, as far as A, from them being a sanctuary city, B, from them trying to discredit Trump and trying to interfere with this election as far as the people being able to determine who should and who shouldn't be the president of the United States of America. And C, I largely think that this woman has a political agenda and a career, but yet she hates Trump so much. She hates Trump so much that she's willing to run on, and people elected her based off of the idea that she's going to basically go after Trump. You cannot have somebody in office that's that hell-bent and not objective enough to be able to do their job while at the same time trying to interfere with what's going on in this election. And it's the same thing with Phony Willis down there in Georgia, but I want to focus on this demon right here. Letitia James, in my opinion, is one of the most evil people and a reflection of what we don't want inside of our justice system, because it shows that it's biased. And don't tell me that you can't be racist as a black person, because we see it being implemented right here. Let's continue. Let's get into what she got to say. That's crazy. And we will work with them if possible. You ain't got no choice. He's the president of the United States of America. You New York. You practically the capital of the United States. Even though we didn't depend on y'all, New York, Colorado, California, Illinois, all of these sanctuary states and cities have completely fallen by the wayside, and the people spoke, and the people spoke.
Or our integrity, or our principles. We did not expect this result, but we are prepared to respond to this result.
More shots now.
And my office has been preparing for several months because we've been here before. We faced this challenge before, and we used the rule of law to fight back. And we are prepared to fight back once again.
Fight back of what? Fight back what? Man, I'm telling y'all, man, if y'all don't get these angry women up out of these offices, no, you know what? Y'all deserve it. Y'all deserve it. Y'all deserve it. And this is exactly why people like Eric Adams is going through what he's going through, because he's no longer. It looks like he was waking up, and so they had to make sure that they adjusted his attitude and deal with him appropriately. Y'all deserve everything that y'all get inside of these Democratic hellholes. What I see happening in Chicago, you deserve it. What I see happening in New York, you deserve it. I hope y'all get overran by every single illegal migrant that crossed into this country. They should go to either Colorado, California, New York, Illinois, Minnesota. Those are the states that they need to go to definitively.
Because as the Attorney General of this great state, it is my job to protect and defend the rights of New Yorkers and the rule of law. And I will not shrink from that responsibility.
With the slow clap. Let's give it a slow clap, y'all.
You see, between 2019 and 2021, the Office of the Attorney General took nearly 100 legal actions against the previous Trump administration, including when he attempted to cap the state and local tax, and when he sought to eliminate funds and grants for law enforcement officers here in the state of New York.
This is supposed to be a reaction to him from the Attorney General, in New York. This is supposed to be a reaction, or her basically speaking towards Trump's victory in 2024. And she's talking about things that they persecuted him from, not prosecuted, persecuted him from in 2019 to 2021 because they wanted to ensure that he wouldn't assume power again. Well, they was wrong. And I think that this woman needs to absolutely be arrested.
We fought to preserve DACA and protect the Affordable Care Act. We fought to prevent a question about citizenship from being on the census because we were concerned about the impact of funding, the lack of funding to the state of New York and how it would affect these programs. We beat the Muslim ban. We stopped the dismantling of the United States Postal Service. We challenged anti-LGBTQ plus efforts. We safeguarded key environmental policies, and we protected access to reproductive care, and we protected the right to organize.
Need to get this woman up out of there.
We worked around the clock to defend these basic rights with our Democratic colleagues across this nation. So as you can see, we know their playbook. We know Project 2025 before it was even published. And we have been working both in my office and with other Democratic AGs across this country to make sure that we would be ready to respond to any attempt to roll back our rights. So here we are. We've studied their platforms. We've identified certain possibilities, fact patterns. We've created contingency plans. So no matter what the next administration throws at us, we're ready.
I'm telling you, the Democratic Party is more divisive, especially at this time in our lifetime, than any other time. The Democratic Party is of the devil, and they are one of the most divisive groups of people that I've ever seen in my entire life. Straight up, just straight up evil. Just straight up evil, and is planning to be evil to the person. I just couldn't even imagine what her husband would be like. Jesus Christ. Could you imagine being a friend of a person like this, or living with them, or having a conversation with them on the phone? It's got to be torturous, man.
We're ready to respond to their attacks. We're ready to respond to any attempts to cut or eliminate any funding to the great state of New York, as the governor outlined. So despite what has happened on the national stage, we will continue to stand tall in the face of injustice, revenge, or retribution. We will continue to protect and our most vulnerable and marginalized amongst us, because it is my sworn duty and responsibility to lead that fight, working with the governor of this great state, Kathy Hochul.
They're going to get up out of there, too.
This is not the time to be fearful, New York, but faithful and steadfast, knowing that I, as the Attorney General, along with my entire team, we are guardians of the law, and we are prepared, my friends, to fight back.
Yo, listen, man. Honestly, real talk, I'm so glad that Trump won this presidency, and I'm looking forward to J.D. Vance coming after him and all of his cabinet members and all of that. And I'm looking at this woman, and all I hear from her mouth is divisiveness, evil, and preparing to fight on at any term, anything that Trump tries to do for the people. that benefits the people, then the only thing that they see y'all as is a leg up, taxpayers, and dollar signs. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the chat of Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this reaction. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off of life. I love you. I appreciate you. Get your tickets to come and kick it with me in person. I don't know if I'm ever going to come to New York, but I'm definitely going to be in Detroit December 14th. Discount code Anton. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.